Hello, you're listening to the Tsunami of Truth for April 30th, 2026. I'm Kristy Allen here on jmcbroadcasting.com. Folks, let's start with the sweetest story of the week. Sweet as honey. King Charles and Queen Camilla just sat down for a state dinner at the White House with the Trumps. And while the mainstream media was whining about protocols during King Charles' White House visit, President Trump was performing an ancient ritual on the South Lawn. Now, hang on, because I got some splaining to do. You see, Melania was just unveiling a new hive shaped like the White House itself, and Trump walked the royal couple across the White House lawn straight to the bees. Now, in ancient British and Scottish tradition, there is a ritual called telling the bees. If there is a major change in the house, like a death or a new master, you have to formally tell the hive or they'll abandon you. When Queen Elizabeth passed, the royal beekeeper whispered it to the palace hives. Yesterday, a live bee landed right on Trump's open palm while the king watched in silence. In the esoteric world, this was the telling for the post-Elizabeth era. Trump, who's a distant Stuart cousin himself, was showing the king who holds the hive now. It was a symbolic handover. The American hive is thriving, and the king quietly capitulated on American soil. The bees know who the master of the house is. And now, so do you. In my last podcast, I talked about a self-correcting universe. Well, the White House caption said it all. Two masters, or two kings, but consider that only one of them is standing on his own soil with the blessing of the bees. Now let's talk about accountability. It's the word of the year, isn't it? Well, I don't know about you, but to me, the air smells different today. It smells like ozone and fresh indictments because the gavel of justice just slammed shut on some names you know very well. Now, in this movie, this must be the accountability phase, right? And if you've got a high back chair in the deep state, well, I suggest you look for the exit. But spoiler alert, there isn't one. And unlike Pam Bondi, acting Attorney General Todd Blanche isn't slow walking anything. He just unsealed the indictment for James Comey. The charge? A coded death threat against the President of the United States. Some of you asked if Comey gave himself up. Well, he didn't have to. They came and got the paperwork ready for him. On Tuesday, April 28, 2026, a federal grand jury officially indicted former FBI Director James Comey. This is the second time they've gone after him, but this one had some teeth. Look, he knowingly and willfully threatened the life of the President of the United States. Remember that Instagram post he made last year? It was a bunch of seashells on a beach arranged to say 8647. Now, to the normies, that's just art. But in the world of high-level signals, those seashells were arranged to say 8647. In the restaurant world, 86 means to liquidate or get rid of. And in the election world, 47 is Trump. Comey, the man who started the Russia hoax, is now facing federal prison for threatening the commander-in-chief. The tall man appeared in federal court in Alexandria yesterday. I guess he's finding out that the tide doesn't just come in, it pulls you out to sea. Checkmate, Jim. Think about the symbolism. The old world royalty sitting at the table with the man the deep state tried to 86. It's a surrender ceremony disguised as a dinner party. The crown is bowing to the sovereign, and the world is watching the frequencies shift in real time. But wait, there's more. While Comey is counting seashells, Dr. David Morans, Anthony Fauci's senior advisor for 16 years, just got hit with a federal indictment as well. They caught him red-handed using a personal Gmail account to hide the Wuhan lab leak truth. He literally emailed his buddies bragging about his FOIA lady teaching him how to make emails disappear before the government could search them. Imagine that. The people who told you to trust the science were actually busy teaching each other how to shred the evidence. Accountability isn't optional, David. It's a subpoena. And have you seen what FBI Director Kash Patel is doing lately? He's not just cleaning house, he's doing a full renovation. He just announced Operation Masquerade and a series called Winter Shield. He was the one standing at the podium yesterday announcing the Comey indictment. He said Comey disgracefully encouraged a threat, and he's making sure every career agent knows that the days of political policing are over. Patel is the broom and the deep state is the dust. And if you're feeling like me, it's about time someone did those chores. So to my listeners, if you're feeling bothered by these stories, it's because your spirit knows the old world is being liquidated. They tried to use lawfare to kill the truth, but the truth just used the law to handcuff the liars. Comey's in court, and Fauci's Guy Morans is indicted. Makes you wonder who's next, right? But this next story is going to blow some of you away, especially if you're new to the Great Awakening movement with the knowledge that this is a movie you've been watching for some time now. So again, here's the story that's making the internet melt. A whistleblower has reportedly come forward. He's an old actor who claims he was hired as, get this, Joe Biden's body double. Yeah. He says it started as a 10-minute stand-in gig and spiraled into him pretending to be the president for nearly 2 years because the real Biden was, he said, visibly unwell. Was that a nice way of saying dead or what? I don't know. Anyway, this actor, who was formerly a birthday party impressionist, claims he was sitting behind the Resolute desk and taking foreign calls while the deep state pushed their agenda. If true, this is the greatest presidential fraud in history. It vindicates every patriot who pointed at those bizarre public appearances and said, that's not him. Whether it was a mask, a double, or just a bad script, the movie is finally getting to the credits. And apparently some of the actors are turning state's evidence to avoid a script that ends in a cell. So, exit stage left and go, Brandon. I mean it. Go. Our next story is about a blitz named Blanche. His name is Todd Blanch, and he's moving like a hurricane. In the last several days, like we mentioned a few days ago, he hit the Southern Poverty Law Center with wire fraud and money laundering charges for allegedly funneling $3 million to the very extremist groups they claim to hate. They were manufacturing the division they were getting paid to fight. He's the one who indicted Dr. David Morans, Fauci's top advisor, for making emails disappear to hide the Wuhan connection. And also Todd Blanch, well, look for here. We finally have the FBI just raiding, finally, 22 Somali-linked businesses and fake child care centers in Minneapolis for a $9 billion welfare scam. Well, yeah, that was the work of Todd Blanch. And interestingly enough, for those of you wondering about when any arrests were ever going to be made, I've got one better. Blanche just expanded federal execution protocols to include firing squads. Why? Because they're strengthening the death penalty for the most dangerous criminals. And they aren't letting a drug shortage stop the wheels of justice. So let's go, Brandon, and let's go, Blanche. Now, some people are asking, what about Pam Bondi? Was she a burn card? Well, think about it. She was publicly entangled in the Epstein files, and maybe she was the distraction while Blanche was simmering these investigations in the background. Look, it's a game of chess, folks, and if you're smart, do you use the burn card to distract the swamp while the real lawman prepares the handcuffs? Now, some of you know Judge Anna, so let's talk about the trusteeship. While the DOJ is cuffing its own, there's an international public notice flying around D.C. This letter regarding the change of trusteeship comes from a different angle. It's from the Sovereign Citizen State National Movement. The messenger is Anna Maria Reisinger, known as Judge Anna. And she's been arguing for years that the United States is a bankrupt corporation, that the actual owners, the American people, are currently reclaiming their assets. Her claim is that the Federation of States is stepping in to take over government functions while the corporate version liquidates. While her documents are part of a massive movement to restore the republic, the reality check is that they are not recognized by the current administrative state. So, is this a parallel system being built in the background? Or is it for a new society that some believe will be the safe harbor if the corporate ship finally sinks? Either way, the Federation is serving notice that the vacated government functions are being taken over. They're scanning original documents into JPEGs and prepping the National Archives for a return to the Republic. Whether you're in Big Lake, Alaska or DC, the message is clear. If the old corporate pirates have lost the ship, there is a plan for a new crew to board that stinking, sinking ship. Hopefully it won't come to that, but one thing is becoming increasingly clear. It is very possible that we are living in a dual reality. On one screen, the corporate United States is bankrupt with $48 trillion in liabilities. And on the other screen, the military and the president are taking down treasonous officials who have infiltrated us since the CIA was founded in 1947. And maybe with those guys gone, this stinking ship can be righted. But from the inside job of 9/11 to the CCP mail-in ballots of 2020, the old pirates thought they were safe on that ship. But they forgot, from the X on their pirate flags to those seashells spelling out 8647, symbolism will be their downfall. And what about that bee? There's a Q post of interest here. It says, what has been occurring recently? The stage must be set. Crumbs are easy to swallow. What if Hugh Hefner was a clown in America or a CIA agent? What is a honeypot? Define blackmail. How could this be applied? Fantasyland. Who has all of the information? Well, Bill Binney said he was the NSA or no such agency. The hunter becomes the hunted. And for those who don't know about how the elite hunted children, there you go. Operations underway, it said. Operators active. Disinformation is real. Disinformation is necessary. Silent war. Some gets out, meaning disinformation. The Great Awakening. Think of the maps. And the last word of it is Iron Eagle. Now, I want to leave you with these words from the man himself. Donald Trump said, from the very beginning of this journey, I have been on a mission to rescue our nation from a failed and corrupt political establishment. I will never quit. I will never bend. I will never break. And I will never yield, not even in the face of death itself. Now, that's a pretty powerful message from a man who has faced yet another death threat just this week. And whether this is a movie with masks, actors, and game theory in play, it's looking more and more like the transition is almost complete. Because look, the old empires are the ones being hunted now. And the hive has spoken. And apparently the hive is secure. Nothing can stop what is coming because the frequency is already shifted. So patriots, with all this going on, hold steady, be prepared, make sure to buy some honey. And while all this is going on, go outside, take a few deep breaths, and listen to the hum of the bees, your heart promptings, and the truth. Hey, thanks for listening to the Tsunami of Truth podcast. I'm Kristy Allen, here on johnmichaelchambers.com.
The Federal Reserve is no more a government agency than Federal Express. The Federal Reserve is a corporation founded and run by international bankers.
The Global Financial Reset is not just another podcast or episode of pertinent current discussions concerning economic-related issues. It's also an ongoing educational workshop series.
Join me and my prominent guests every Wednesday live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on JMC Broadcasting's backup Rumble channel on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Sign up for JMC's free weekly war report, including notifications of when the Global Financial Reset show is published. The future is bright, and it belongs to us, not to the global elite.
You can survive and thrive this reset transition, but it takes action on your behalf. The Global Financial Reset Workshop Series gives you the tools to get out of the system with confidence.